Hello mariners, hope you guys are doing well. In this video we'll have some shots of situations that has been asked by lots of surveys in different MMDs. So we'll just go through that. We'll see the possibilities or the actions which requires to be taken as per our Colrex, that is rule of road. We'll go through each and every some lots of situation depending upon all the rules we'll be dealing with from rule number 13 to 19 on a different situations. This time I request you to please subscribe my channel and help it out to be at least 1k. If I reach to 1k, we'll have a live discussions of all these situations on a live, so that once I come a live, you all can get an update and we can do actual discussions on a live. And it is a minimum requirement by the YouTube that it should be at least 1k subscriber, then only a particular YouTuber or a particular channel can come live. So please give us a thumbs up and do like, subscribe and share with your friend. Let's see. So you can say some general rules that you need to remember during your ROR or also in actual scenario. That if you sighted a vessel at 8 miles or above range, so what we need to maintain our course and speed and keep tracking on a radar or by a visual lookout. So here we move with point number 2. If a vessel is from between 5 to 8 miles, so we'll just keep monitoring and try to attract attention by DSL or by any other equipments. DSL stands for your day signaling lamp or any other means. Okay, so now next point, the point number 3, that is if a range is less than 5 nautical miles or it's keep on reducing, then we need to try to attract the attention by your DSL, and also if required inform master that we are developing some risk of collision or some scenario. You need to inform master. So let's move with the last point, that is point number 4. If the range is between 2 to 3 miles, that range is considered as a close quarter situations, and in this condition both vessel requires to take action, and then only we need to keep clear of each other, and hence this is a critical situations also, you can say that, and we need a response by the both vessels. Okay, so let's begin with this situation. The situation number 1, we'll consider that we are on power driven vessel 1. So from the scenario it is clear to everyone that this is overtaking situations. Here power driven vessel 2 is overtaking to another vessel, so rule number 13 will be applicable. And A, nothing withstand anything contained in this rule part B section 1, and 2, any vessel overtaking any other shall keep out of the way of other vessel being overtaken. So as per that, the action we will take is we'll keep proper lookout, and we need to maintain a proper CPA as per the company policy. And the overall you don't need to use these terms company policy and other things because the surveyors will start asking a cross question. So just stop, we will just keep a proper lookout and so on. Okay, let's move to the situation number 2. Here you are seeing that power driven vessel has overtaken and now seen a crossing situation. So this is as per rule number 13. It's very clear that any subsequent alteration of a bearing between two vessels does not make overtaking vessel a crossing vessel. So in these conditions it's still a overtaking situation. So as per that, the action we are going to take, we'll start taking a compass bearing. We'll determine risk of collision. If risk of collision exists, give 5-shot blast, and still no changes, we'll simply reduce the speed or take our way off to take all our way off. That's all, no need to do anything else. Okay, let's see this another situation. In this situation we'll consider that we are on a power driven vessel 1, the same scenario again. It might be, you can assume that this is a crossing situation, but no, still that rule number 13 will apply. So as per that, the action we are going to take, we'll start taking compass bearing. We'll determine risk of collision. If ROC exists, give 5-shot blast, and again the same scenario, we'll reduce the speed and take all our way off. Now the things I'm repeating again and again, like start taking compass bearing, determine ROC, if ROC exists, then we'll do so and so. This is the very important point that you should remember and you should need to say it out during your oral time, because this is my personal experience and I had been failed twice on this topic. Just I had missed out this determining risk of collision. If exist, then we'll do so and so. Just this point has failed me twice, and finally I realized that what was the exact scenario and why I was failing. So please be in your mind, keep clear these all points. So let's move with the next topic. Okay, in this we'll consider that we are on a power driven vessel too, but still what we have to do is, again we are overtaking and then we had done a crossing, we made a crossing situation. So it does not means that we are now in a crossing situation. We'll still consider the same scenario that we are overtaking, and the action that we are going to take will keep a broad alteration to avoid the risk of collision and will pass clear. Okay, this is a very simple scenario that we are on a head-on situations. So this is as per rule number 14. It is a head-on situation, either we are reciprocal course and so on. So as per that, the action that we are going to take will simply give a one shot blast, will alter course to starboard. Since I am considering that I am on a power driven vessel too, I will one shot blast, will alter course to starboard and keep well clear. Now in MMD, the surveyor may ask like what will be the alteration, what value means about how much degree you are going to alter. So the very simple, I will look on ARPA, and as per I will do a trial maneuver, and as per that I will alter my course to keep clear as per the CPA and so on. That's all. That is the answer. So here it is a new situation that one is on a NUC and we are on a RAM. So as per this, it is a special scenario. Is basically rule number 18 is applicable and will be applicable. So according to date, rule number 18A, we have to keep clear of your NUC. So inform master, take as per master instructions. Whatever the instruction master giving, will take so on. Okay, this is a situation from the we consider that we are on a power driven vessel 1. So it is very clear that this is a crossing situation, and as per that we are a stand on vessels. So it's power driven vessels 2 responsibility to take action if she is not taking. So we'll determine ROC. If ROC exists, give 5 shot blast, still no change, give 1 shot blast and alter course to starboard and take a round turn and pass stern of that vessel. As per rule number 17A part 2, we can take this action. And also if surveyor may cross questions like why you are going starboard, just simply alter to port and pass. So make sure you can point it in out that as per rule number 17 part C, it clearly states that for a stand-on vessel in a crossing situation, it should not alter to course port. Okay, let's move with a different scenario. In this, we'll consider that we are on a power driven vessel 2. So as per that, again this is a crossing situation. So we'll simply as per rule number 15, we'll start taking a compass bearing. We'll determine risk of collision. If risk of collision exists, we'll give 1 shot blast, will alter course to starboard and keep well clear to the situation as per rule number 16. So let's see another scenario. Okay, let's move with a different scenario. It's again the situation is still same. We'll consider that we are on a power driven vessel 2. So one thing is clear, that is this is a crossing situation. So rule number 15 is applicable when 2 power driven vessels are crossing so as to involve the risk of collision. The other vessel, basically just to identification, you need to see out the rule. And what action we are going to take is here, we'll start taking compass bearing, will determine risk of collision. If ROC exists, 1 shot blast, alter course to starboard and keep well clear to the situation simply as per rule number 17. Okay, let's see this situation, what exactly it is. So in this figure, it is clear that we are on a own vessel is a power driven and these two are as I said. So here rule number 15 will be applicable with power driven vessel 1 and with a one vessel. So since we need to quote out rule number 15, and with power driven vessel 2, it's a crossing situation, so it's his responsibilities to take action. So in this scenario, we'll simply determine risk of collision if ROC exists. 1 shot blast, alter course to starboard, keep well clear as per rule number 16, that is action by a giveaway vessel. Okay, it's quite same scenario, just we are having a shallow patch on our starboard side. So crossing situation is applicable. Rule number 15 is applicable with own vessel and a power driven, and overtaking is applicable with own vessel and power driven vessel too. So in this scenario, what we have to do, since in a crossing situation we need to alter course to starboard to keep clear from power driven vessel, but since we are having a shallow patch, so we'll start taking a compass bearing. We'll determine risk of collision. If ROC exists, since we have a shallow patch, so we cannot go to starboard, and we are having other vessel on our port side, so is another vessel, so we will just reduce our speed to a minimum to keep ourselves on a course. Let power driven vessel 1 pass, then we will follow our course and will increase the speed, and then we'll so on. Okay, let's move to a different scenario, different situation. So this is a TSS and we are following a TSS, that is own vessel is in TSS. So the first thing that we need to remember, rule number 10 is applicable, rule number 18 does not apply in this condition. So as per 10 part J, a vessel of less than 20 meter in length or a sailing vessel shall not impede the passage or a safe passage of a power driven vessel following a traffic lane. So in this condition, it's a responsibilities of a sailing vessels to keep clear from us. But if she is not taking action, so in this case what we have to do, we rule number 8F part 2 and part 3, 8F 2 and 3 will be applicable, and as per that we will just start taking compass bearing. Will determine risk of collision. If ROC exists, give 5 short blast. If still she is not taking action, since we are in a TSS, so we'll just simply reduce our speed or take all her way off to just maintain our path, and we'll allow that vessel to pass ahead of us, and then we'll proceed. Okay, so the scenario is same, just we are on a sailing vessel. So in this condition, rule number 10 will be applicable, not 18. So we'll bear in that mind, and as per rule number 10 part G, it's our responsibilities to keep clear of that. So we'll start taking compass bearing, determine ROC. If ROC exists, take action, and we'll keep clear the situations either by stopping our vessels or take a round turn and pass astern of that. Again, it's the same scenario. We don't know what kind of a vessel, basically we'll be aware, but such scenarios are given. So again, we will consider this TSS, rule 18 does not apply, and as per that it's our responsibilities to keep clear. Here 8F1 is also applicable, that action taken by stand-on vessels. As per that, we'll start taking compass bearing. We'll determine ROC. If ROC exists, we'll just give 1 short blast. We'll alter course to starboard and keep clear from the situation. Okay, so candidates, let's move to the next situation. We are on a TSS, we are inside a TSS following a lane, and its own vessel is there, and a power driven is trying to cross us. So here rule number 10 will be applicable with a power driven vessel and our own vessel, and so we'll just maintain our course and speed, and power driven has to take action. Now if she is not taking action, so we'll determine starting compass bearing. We'll determine risk of collision. If risk of collision exists, give 5 short blast, and if still she is not taking action, so we don't, since we are following a TSS, so we'll just we'll have to reduce the speed or take all our way off and allow that vessels to pass ahead of us. Now let's see this scenario. In here it's rule number 10 is applicable, and also 8F will be applicable with our CBD and your or NUC, and own vessels will be in stand on, because TSS in this rule TSS will be applicable, not rule number 18. So we'll start taking compass bearing. We'll determine ROC. If ROC is exist, give 5 short blast, rapid short blast. Still no change, then since we are in a TSS, so again a same situations we'll we'll look for it, and we'll reduce our speed or take our way off and allow that vessels to pass ahead of us. Okay, let's see this scenario. Here power driven vessel is overtaking own vessel, so rule number 13 will be applicable, and as per that we'll just start take compass bearing. We'll determine ROC. If ROC exists, so we'll simply give 2 short blast. We'll alter course to port and keep well clear to the situations. We can go to port, and then after turning a port we can take a round turn and pass astern of that vessel if ROC exists. Okay, this is a quite interesting situations. Both are on NUC. So here both are NUC. So we are on one of them. So in this condition, we'll start taking compass bearing, determine ROC. If ROC exists, check depth is sufficient. So we'll just simply drop our anchor as per the master instruction, and we need to inform master immediately as soon as possible and prepare our anchor parties, and we'll drop anchor if depth is sufficient. So it is again a very simple situation, head-on situation, but since we are able to see that the other vessels is having a shallow patch, so for that vessel it will be difficult to take action as per rule number 14. So we'll bear in mind, we'll start taking compass bearing, we'll determine risk of collision. Since we have a shallow patch on the port side, and according to the rule we have to alter to starboard to save passage, so we'll act accordingly, and also we'll keep in mind, will give a sufficient, will alter a sufficient that the vessel which is head on to us that can pass well clear from us without taking any action as well. Okay, let's understand this. We are on a ram, CVD or NUC, it may be any kind of vessel. We are having your power driven vessel. So in this situation, as head on have a power driven vessel and port 1 fishing, so accordingly rule number will 18 applies on both the cases. But if we so both the cases rule number 18 will be applicable. So we'll start taking compass bearing, will determine risk of collision. If still, we'll give 5 shot blast. If no change, we'll take all our way off by stopping or taking a means reverse our means of propulsion. No other option. Okay, let's have a view to this special scenario. We are having a vessels ram, CVD or NUC, and we are a power driven vessel, and also we are having another vessel, that is fishing vessel, on our port side. So in these conditions we are also having a shallow patch. So what we have to do, the best action will determine risk of collision. If it exists, we'll simply give 2 shot blast and will alter to port as per rule number 2b. Here 2b is applicable as per the special in construing and complying with this rule, due regard shall head to the danger of navigation and collision. So as per the ordinary practice of seamanship, we can take these actions, and will alter course to port and pass well clear from both the vessel. Hope you guys are getting all this, so please do subscribe this. Okay, now see this, it's the same situation, but it's a restricted visibility. So here in this situation, it's a head-on situation with ram, NUC and CVD, and on a port 1 shallow patch and one fishing vessel on our port side, starboard side shallow patch and port side. So here and it's a restricted visibility. So in this we need to start radar plotting, will determine risk of collision. Okay, if risk of collision exists, we need to alter to port as per rule 2b and keep clear to the situations well in advance, and also you need to inform master as well. Okay, let's see this scenario. It's a narrow channel, one vessel power driven and sailing vessel is on the way. So we are in narrow channel, and hence rule number 9 is applicable. So we'll start taking compass bearing, will determine risk of collision. If ROC exists, we'll give 5 shot blast. If no change, we'll reduce speed, let sailing vessel pass ahead of us. And if a vessel on a head-on, take action, take all our way off by stopping or reversing our means of propulsion, and we need to inform VTS as well. You need to during your oral time, you need to say to the surveyors, like in these conditions rule number 19 9's that part B and all rules are applicable. Okay, it's again a different question. We are on a ram, and it's a CVD, vessel constant by a draft. So here rule number 18 will be applicable. So as per that, we need to start taking a compass bearing, will determine risk of collision. If ROC is there, we'll give 5 shot blast. According to rule number 18D, is the duty of our CVD vessels to keep clear, but if she is not taking action, we'll simply reduce the speed and let her pass ahead of us, and we'll simply maintain our course and speed, and if allow more time, we'll just reduce our speed, let that vessel pass ahead of us. No other options we are having right now. This is a very interesting scenario, you can say. So here rule number 15 will be applicable with both CVD on the starboard side and power driven on the port side. So it's our responsibilities to keep clear the situations. with CVD we need to clear, and with us it's power driven vessels to keep clear. So we'll simply start taking compass bearing, will determine risk of collision. If ROC exists, we'll simply give one short blast, will alter course to starboard, and will keep clear to the situations. And also for this power driven, by just altering if it's clear with us, so we'll do that, or else we'll take a round turn and pass astern of that vessel as well. Okay, here we move with a different scenario. Here rule number 18 will be applicable, and we have CVD overtaking on our starboard side, so his responsibilities let that vessels to overtake on and and we need to just be careful with the power driven and the CVD. So we'll start taking compass bearing, will determine risk of collision. If ROC exists, we'll just reduce the speed and pass astern of the starboard CVD vessel if required, and give 2 short blast and alter to port and keep well clear to this situation as rule number 2B. Okay, here is another situation, good situation. So we are having, this is a restricted visibility. So we are having a head-on situations and vessels in our starboard side. So the first, as per rule number D1, we cannot alter course to port, and as per rule number 19 D2, we cannot alter even to the starboard. So we'll just start radar plotting, we'll determine risk of collision. If ROC exists, we'll simply reduce the speed or take all her way off. That's all, there is no other option. Okay, so it's again a restricted visibility. We are hearing a fog, it is approaching to us, and our radars is currently operational. So in this scenario, rule number 19 will be applicable, and we'll start plotting we'll do a radar plotting. We'll determine risk of collision. If ROC exists, broad alteration to the starboard, increase the frequency of your fog signal. Why starboard? Because the fog signal is coming forward of the beam, that is as per rule number 19 D1, we cannot go to port. Okay, so the another situation, in this situation our radar is non-operational, means radar is not working. So in this scenario, what we have to do, we have to bear in our mind some points, and as per that we need to act, because radar is not operational. So as per just a sound signal we need to act. So here again rule 19 will be applicable, will determine risk of collision. If ROC exists, will broad alteration to the starboard and increase the frequency of our sound signal in uprightness. Now don't use the term 19D1 or 2, because the radar is non-operational. We'll use a term with 19 part E, because 19 part E neither talks about your operational radar, neither talks about your non-operational radar, it just talks about the simplicity. So guys, if you found this video useful, so please do like, share, subscribe, and do join my Telegram channel, so that if I do any live discussion, live session, will give a live session in the sense, sometime I used to do a Zoom meeting, so we can go through that, you can get an update and we can have a discussion on that. I'm having a lots of situations, lots of PDFs from different candidates they had made during their preparation. So just please help me to reach 1K, so that once we'll do a live discussion, I will share that all PDF and we'll just go through that, we'll understand each and every point, because after having a PDF also it is very difficult for us to understand. So I need your support, just give thumbs up and subscribe my channel. Thank you, see you soon next time on a live. Thank you.